He's Blake. I'm Ronnie. All the good names are taken. Podcast championship round. Blake, the final 8 from the 64 man white boy tournament, March Madness, first ever for us, 2025. Before we show it, we both agreed Larry Bird, since he got the most votes, would be the overall number 1 seed all the way throughout it. Here is the championship bracket for Blake for the first time. Number 1 seed, Larry Bird, taking on the number 8 seed, Chuck Norris. The number 2 seed, Hulk Hogan, taking on the number 7 seed, Tim Allen. Up top, you got the number 3 seed, Tom Brady, taking on the number 6 seed, Magnus Ver Magnuson. And the last remaining matchup is number 4 seed, Nolan Ryan, taking on number 5 seed, Arnold Schwarzenegger. A ton of tough matchups, Blake. But what else can you have when you have the championship round? What are you thinking?
Oh, man, this is tough.
How do you want to start it? Just like we've been doing the whole tournament?
Yeah.
Number 1 seed, Larry Bird, the hick from French Lick, taking on Chuck Norris. Now, do we have to go through their accolades, or pretty much know it by now? Larry Bird, one of the greatest basketball players that ever lived, one of the toughest basketball players that ever lived, parlayed that into a nice little coaching run. Hall of Famer in college, Hall of Famer pros, love Magic Johnson, don't have AIDS, versus Chuck Norris, one of the biggest action stars of the 80s and the 90s, mainly the 80s. He's not only a cinema action hero, he's a real action hero. As we talked about it in previous brackets, all throughout the 60s, he won karate tournaments and championships all over the world. He's got all the jokes too. So, Blake, who do you got? Larry Bird taking on Chuck Norris.
Well, I'm sure if these two ever came face to face, Ronnie, Larry Bird would sound a lot like Joe Piscopo and say, "Norris, I've always wanted to kick your ass."
Well, what a surprise. Chuck Norris. Too bad you're not still fighting. I'd love to kick your ass.
But unfortunately, he would end up like Piscopo in that movie Sidekicks. And I think Chuck Norris roundhouse kicks his way into the Final Four.
When you think about these two matchups, one of the greatest basketball players, like we talked about earlier, one of the greatest action stars. But when it comes down to it, if you walked up to somebody and say, who do you know, Larry Bird, Chuck Norris, it would all depend on where you're at. But I think Chuck Norris wins this just because he's had the bigger impact, I think, on culture. And when people look at Chuck Norris, especially in these new videos he's doing where he's like 90 and his wife's saying it's because he like stretched or whatever, they're thinking, white boy, that's white guy. You know, you really could say he probably doesn't have any talent other than the karate. Can he really act, Blake?
Well, I mean, if it wasn't for Chuck Norris, Average Joe's would have never won that dodgeball tournament.
Who's a better actor, Larry Bird in Space Jam or Chuck Norris in any movie he's got?
What's the matter, Bill?
Larry, that could have been me.
We get off that kick. It's over. It's done with. You can't play.
Chuck Norris.
I would agree. And he's prettier than Larry Bird. Larry Bird's got the hook nose. I'm going Chuck Norris as well. Clean sweep right here, Blake, into the Final Four. Now let's drop to the bottom. Hulk Hogan, the greatest wrestler of all time. The first one to cross-platform into movies, into magazines, into music, all of that stuff, taking on Tim Allen. Do the noise, Blake. Tim Allen, who we talked about in the previous bracket of the tournament. Big cocaine dealer, even bigger stand-up comic, sitcom star, movie star, all-around icon when it comes to Christmas. And, I mean, if you look at it, both of these guys had Christmas movies.
Yeah.
Santa with Muscles and the Santa Claus. Both of these guys have had
space movies.
Both of these guys have had space movies, Suburban Commando and what's
Galaxy
the name? Galaxy Quest. What else? Both. Both. I was gonna say
Both did coke in the 80s.
both did lots of coke in the 80s. Who am I going to choose right here? I mean, Tim Allen, Mr. Christmas, Hulk Hogan, Mr. Steroids.
Hulk Hogan, arguably the greatest good guy and greatest bad guy in wrestling. That's quite an accomplishment.
I'm going Hulk Hogan here. Hulk Hogan, definitely, when people see him, and especially when they heard that one secret video, they were like, man, white boy. But I'm going with Hogan to advance over Tim Allen right here. Who are you taking, Blake?
This is going to shock you, Ronnie. I'm going Tim Allen.
Ooh. So, if you haven't been paying attention, and not many people have been watching these videos, how do we determine the tiebreaker? We go to the wheel, Blake. So let me get it set up. What's your thought process here with taking Tim Allen?
Hulk Hogan, you know how much I love Hulk Hogan. I think I said last episode, at a few points in my life, I wished he was my daddy. But
Daddy.
I think it's just if you take the last 10 years, their body of work the last 10 years, Ronnie, and how Hogan has just, it hadn't been great. And then now him shilling this beer. He's on record saying alcohol ruined my life, brother, ruined my family. And then 2 months later, he comes out with his own beer.
I'm clean, brother.
Yeah, I'm clean as whistle, brother. Why you buying? Tim Allen has kind of, other than the opposite side of the political fence, Tim Allen has been, the perfect human being almost. And
he survived that. He didn't give up. He was like a Galaxy Quest, never give up, never surrender.
I think that's part of it. No matter what side you're on, like sticking to your guns and your beliefs and saying, look, this is what I believe, and this is the way it is. I'm not going to shove it down your throat, but when you ask me, this is the answer you get. And I think it's just an account of how much I love his movies, and I love Home Improvement too. Don't get me wrong, I watched WrestleMania 9 2 days ago, and I love the ending when Hogan shows up and wins the title. Everybody hates that. Guess what? I love it. I love it. But Tim Allen's movies, like I said, I love the Toy Stories. I got to relive the Toy Stories with my kids. It stands the test of time. One of my favorite Christmas movies, one of my favorite Pixar movies. Galaxy Quest is a fun watch for, you introduced me to that. That's a fun watch. So I got to go Tim Allen. So let's see what the wheel has to say. It's win-win for me, honestly.
This is going to be close, Blake.
No, it ain't. It's Hulkster. That ain't going to work for me, bro.
I ain't jobbing to Tim Allen, brother.
Tim, listen, that's a good run for Tim Allen.
Yes, as
in
a
this
16,
tournament.
Yeah,
that is a really good run. You think about all he went through. I have to go back and watch.
Moving up, Tom Brady versus Magnus Ver Magnuson. You get to go first right here. Tom Brady, 7 Super Bowls, $300 million contract to be a broadcaster with Fox that he sucks at in movies. Was good looking. Then he got all this crazy facial surgery. Magnus Ver Magnuson, Mr. Strongman competition. Go ahead, Blake.
Tom Brady.
I'm going Magnus.
I knew it.
You're
You're the only reason this guy is still alive in this tournament. And now we got to go to the wheel to see if he's better than Tom Brady.
Magnus. Okay. Magnus does not have a Super Bowl.
Okay.
But Magnus, he never, ever got facial surgery.
That you know of.
I seen a picture of him.
A garbage bag full of steroids.
Hold on. I did just, I saw a picture of him. He didn't get anything done to that face. He's fugly.
Throw the clip up of Tom Brady running the 40 and tell me white boy,
Well, look at Magnuson picking up that rock and putting it on top of that damn platform for whatever reason.
I
That's
mean,
why.
yeah, I'm not saying the kid's not impressive. It's just, I mean, Tom Brady came from, you know, 5th round pick.
6, I think.
There we go.
You're gonna get your way.
Tom Ace. Do I
Tom
call
Brady.
him quarterback or?
Should I call you quarterback or lawyer?
Well, does he have a name, or should I call him lawyer?
Okay, last matchup of the first round. Nolan Ryan versus Arnold Schwarzenegger. Nolan Ryan, 7 no-hitters, 47 two-hitters, 28 one-hitters, 5,000 strikeouts, getting hit in the face, bloody lips, just a real man taking on the opposite. Arnold Schwarzenegger, who did the maid. He was taking steroids, talking about a bucket of steroids. He took a whole trash bag full of steroids too.
Yeah.
Mr. Olympia. Lou Ferrigno wants to beat the crap out of him. Terminator, all the great action movies, one-liner king. I'm going Arnold Schwarzenegger because he is the ultimate white boy. And some people might say he's not.
Yeah, I'm going Arnold.
So Arnold is the last one. Is the last one into the final 4. So here we go. Final 4. White boy March Madness. Chuck Norris versus Tom Brady. And you're up, Blake.
This is one of the tougher matchups that I've had on here because you look at the body of work of both and you're just floored. But if you look at the what have you done for me lately, you know, it's are you voting on recency bias or I mean, if I'm being completely honest here, am I the biggest fan of Chuck Norris's movies? You know, not really. I mean, I know Missing in Action and whatever that other one we reviewed is. I like Silent Rage. I mean,
Sweet tea, Linda.
I'm going Tom Brady.
Chuck Norris, great chest hair, great finishing move in movies where he gets the running kick. He's defeated ninjas that are Asian, white, black, red, and green. He's done it all. But he didn't beat Tom Brady because Tom Brady, when you look at that guy, 7 Super Bowls, all the women, all the money, white boy.
White boy.
Blake, the other Final 4 matchup. Hulk Hogan.
Tim's not with us right now.
I couldn't remember who won that one, Tim Allen or Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan taking on Arnold Schwarzenegger. As a kid, I would have loved to see them in a movie. I wish Hogan could have been in Predator and got his chest blown out like Jesse Ventura did. Can you imagine the stories Hogan would have made up from the Predator set from back in the day? Hulk Hogan brought so many kids so much joy of all races. And then he brought them so much sadness of all races when he turned heel. He made movies that
Mostly
were
one race.
He made movies that were watchable. I like these cheesy movies. He made it work. The hair. Who could be a super celebrity with that kind of skullet, Blake? Who could be a super celebrity outside the Jersey Shore with that skin tone, handlebar mustache? He made it all work. But Arnold Schwarzenegger, he escaped Austria. He did action movies. He did family movies. He did The Maid. He did it all, Blake. He's done it all. He's seen it all. Nazis, Brazzers. He's seen everything. Cable TV.
Nintendo.
You just have to wonder who deserves to move to the finals and be called, damn, that's a white boy. I'm not sure anybody ever looked at Hulk Hogan and went, white boy. Except when he said that stuff.
Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'm not sure anybody ever looked at him and said, hey, that's a white boy, because, you know, he's scared he's a Nazi. So now I guess it just comes down to who made the bigger cultural impact in my life. And once upon a time, I thought it was Hulk Hogan. But it's definitely Arnold Schwarzenegger for me. I pick him to move on to the championship, Blake.
You know, you and I did a video, or we didn't do a video on it. We talked about it in the video. Whereas in 1984, what if James Cameron said, hey, Hulk, you're going to be the Terminator. You know, you're a big hulking guy. You're not going to have hardly any lines. Piece of cake. What that would have done to Hulk Hogan's career. Could Hulk Hogan have been Arnold in the 80s? Not much acting, just a couple of one-liners and being jacked.
No. Could he have been the governor?
Yes. I think he could have been in Commando. I think he could have been in all the movies. I really do. I mean, could Arnold have done Hulkamania in WWF? No, because he can't talk.
I'll do request.
You know, Hogan has ventured into Arnold's world and done it poorly. Arnold has ventured into Hogan's world and done it poorly. As much as I love the Hulkster, I'm sorry, it's Arnold in the finals.
I thought for sure we were going to the wheel, Blake, which now sets up 64 started, 2 remain. Tom Brady versus Arnold Schwarzenegger for the title of first ever 2025 March Madness Ultimate White Boy Challenge. Is it me or you first this time?
It's me.
Okay. This is a tough one.
Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time, going against Arnold, the greatest action star of all time. I'm going Arnold.
7 Super Bowls versus the 80s.
Yeah.
I was ready to pick Tom Brady and take this final championship match to the wheel.
Hey, I just thought of this earlier. One of the accounts I follow on X said, here y'all go. Here's your here's a Minecraft movie for you for free if you want to save it real fast. I hit play and it was gay porn. I was driving down the road and couldn't click fast enough off that shit.
What if you'd have wrecked and I'd been on your phone on repeat?
Yeah, dude, there's no. I thought about that. It's like, what if I were to pass out right now or something, and this is just replaying on my phone because it was an hour 45-minute video, Bob. I thought it was the movie.
I am Steve.
He died doing what he loved, watching gay porn.
But you mentioned 2 rounds ago, Blake, about Tom Brady running that effing 40. And I guarantee you, if they'd have let Arnold Schwarzenegger race Tom Brady in that 40, he'd have beat him.
Yeah.
Tom Brady's never carried a log on his shoulder.
Mm-mm.
Never took a bath with
underwear.
He never took a bath with Alyssa Milano in the woods. He never told some wrong and shot him in the head.
But he did stumble around in Florida drunk after winning a 7th Super Bowl.
Tom, how awesome was that?
Trust me, when I thought I was going to pick him to win this tournament, that video was going up of him stumbling through there. But I can't do it. Arnold Schwarzenegger is also my pick for the Ultimate White Boy Challenge, Blake. He wins March Madness, the first annual White Boy tournament.
I don't do requests.
I don't do requests.
I never thought Arnold would have made it through it. I thought Tim Allen may knock him out, but Hulk Hogan took care of Tim Allen. Then you had there were some all-star matchups right here The wheel really did us good on this tournament, Blake. And I'm not afraid to say that I'm glad I don't have to do all this editing anymore for this tournament. There you go.
This was a really fun idea. We got a lot of good feedback on it.
Nobody watched it.
I'm talking about my family,
Oh, okay.
friends and family.
Blaster liked it.
That's all that matters, right?
He came out of the woods.
All it takes is one good piece of feedback, and
You feel like it was
I'm
all
like,
worth
you know what? We are good. Just one, even if it's fake, even if it's Brutal Bob.
Yeah, Brutal Bob. He came in telling us it was trash, but we knew that was an idiot. So, who probably was the same idiot in our chat room, if I had to guess. So, the more I think about it, the more I think it's him.
I just don't see him making 10 different YouTube names.
Oh, you don't see him making 10 different WWF names?
Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah. All about the time he was a teenager.
No, I don't.
If they had to be powerless.
Maybe it was the real wrestlers.
It's no higher honor than to get called by people.
Yeah.
That's when you know you really made it.
Yeah.
Dad, what about you, Dad? Maybe it was our dad.
Yeah. It's a compliment, right?
That's what they say. Hit us in the comments. What did you think about the tournament? Who would you have gone over with in the championship? And would you like to see any tournaments in the future? I know Blake's all in on these tournaments. I personally like Mount Rushmore is better than I do tournaments, but I guess they don't all have to be 64. We could do 16.
Yeah, either one's fun. I do have one regret. I do wish Clint Eastwood would have made it a little bit further. I feel like he deserved to be in this final 8, the Elite 8, as they call it in the biz. But Magnus had to get his groove on, right?
No, Magnus was Magnus in that?
No, I just made that up. I don't know.
Okay, no, Magnus was in the Ronald Reagan. He took out capitalism like he was supposed to. Good little Nazi.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Blake, anything else before we go?
That's all I got.
People's going to be mad at you. We didn't do this live.
I don't care.
All right. We love y'all.
You know what? You know why I don't like doing live?
Why? Edit.